Hello there, and welcome to another episode on caring for our elderly. And today we're talking about dignity. One of the things that I see, just to mention one thing, that I see my dad worry and concerned about is his money. Money is a big deal. He has a blue pouch that um, he keeps his money that is very important to him. He wants to know where it is all the time. And so he's thinking in terms of his needs, what's going to happen in this home. And he has lived an entire life of paying bills, raising children. And so it makes sense that he has learned through life that money is very important. Um, he's not paying bills in my house. He's not paying bills in his home. But in his mind, this is something he has done all his life, is take care of his family. He has made choices for himself. He has made choices for his children. He has made choices with his wife. And so he has lived a life independently, worked hard, and built his own value. And all of our parents and the elderly, whether they are our siblings, depending on where our age is, whether it's our parents, they have lived a life and developed independence. They have developed their self-worth. When someone lives a life and prove themselves that they can live and impact life, it gives them dignity. That individuality, that making an impact, it's part of their esteem. There is pride in being, there is pride in impacting others. And that's the life the elderly loved ones have lived. When they start to age, and maybe they are either very elderly and frail, or they have conditions like dementia, things change. And while they may not be able to operate a bank account, their mind still tells them that they're in charge of their lives. And they are. It would be very wrong to take our loved ones, take over their life, and force our ways into them. But it's easy to do if we don't think about it. Why? Because we are busy, our lives are busy, we're trying to get other things done, And it's very easy because, again, I'll give you the example of my father. He's not paying bills in my house. He's not buying or contributing food or anything in my house. And so it's easy um, to forget that he fed me, he raised me, he had his life, and he still to today has a desire to contribute. He has a desire to be himself and to have his individuality recognized and respected. Why? Because I'm thinking, Papa, I'm busy. I have to do this. I have to work. I have to do that. I have to do that. But Papa, you can just sit and watch TV. There's nothing else I have for you to do. That's easy to do. But you forget his mind is thinking, I want to do something. So maintaining dignity takes the work of intention. We have to be intentional about maintaining dignity for our elderly parents and loved ones. Because what is dignity? It's a sense of self worth and respect and esteem. When people feel they have their self worth and respect, you work at showing them that they are important, that they matter. You maintain their dignity by showing them that they are of value and that they matter to you. So I remember very often times I could call my mom and we would talk. And having worked in healthcare for very many years, bless God and praise God, I have learned a lot and grown a lot. And it's taught me to be very intentional about certain things, which is why I do what I do here on this live chat, is to hopefully inspire your thoughts. Because if you don't think these things ahead of time, it's easy to overlook them when that time comes. It's easy to not even think about it. So I would always be intentional about telling my mom how much she mattered to us. I would tell her how much I need her and why I need her. And my mom would ask me, McKenna, do I really matter? I thought I lost value. I thought I lost value. And it would be amazing to hear my mom say that. I thought I lost value because my mom was this really strong woman, very strong woman in her family, within the community. She was a strong woman. So to hear my mom saying with her mouth, I thought I lost value, was very eye opening because in my mind, I would never imagine that my mom would think that way after the impact that she has made in people's lives, in my life, in her children's lives, and many other people's lives. I would never have thought I would hear her say that. I share this to tell you your parents need to know that you value them. Thank you, Faith. Frida, thank you. Again, if you are there, please let me know where you are watching from. Um, Also, share something if you have experienced what I'm talking about. Share something, or if you have questions, feel free to type it there. But share it. Let me know where you are watching this from. So anyway, reminding your parents that they matter to you is very important, because when they raise you, you have your life. I mean, some days I've woken up and my children, they make their own food, they dish their own food, they do their laundry, they do their things. When they were transitioning from needing me to pack their lunch, it felt like I was losing something. And all of a sudden, I would wake up in the morning and my daughter already prepared her own lunch and everything. And I would come and go, oh, and I felt she don't need me. My son, he don't need me. And there was like a grief in feeling like, wow, they are doing their own things. They are not waiting for me anymore. And there was a sense of loss and almost a nervousness. My children are not calling me to do everything for them. And as our parents get older, where we leave their home, we start our lives, we get jobs, we start paying our bills. We're not borrowing them money anymore because we are working and earning our own money. They feel like we don't need them. But value is not attached on things. Value is attached on being, it's attached on the person. The person that my mother was to me, that spot has never been filled. I'm pretty sure it will never be filled by anybody. So even as an adult, I would call my mother and talk to her, and my heart would be healed because I talked to my mom about that situation. So it's one thing to call our parents when we need them, but it's another thing to give them dignity. And giving them dignity is work of intention. It's calling them and making sure that they hear your heart, that you value them. They matter to you. So it's not just you calling and whining about your situations. It's about you calling and saying, wow, I'm so glad you are here. I'm so glad I can talk to you about this. I really needed some advice. Thank you for your advice. And how I could see my mom just smile. I could see pride and happiness that she had contributed to my need, even from a distance. When she got sick in 2023 February and had this big episode that was the beginning of her final leg, and she was admitted at Karen Hospital in Nairobi. And I looked at my mom and boom, I was in the plane the next day. I said, Mama, I'm coming. And I was there at Karen Hospital. My mom was like, McKenna, you came? I didn't think I mattered that much that you'd hop the plane in a heartbeat. Mama, you matter so much. You don't realize. And I would be verbal about telling her that she matters, that I need her, and how that would boost her happiness. So, providing dignity is the work of intention. It's you being aware that your parents need to know that they still matter to you. So, it's the visiting them on a regular basis, it's the being aware of their needs. Now, when your parents are elderly and they start to lose some of their function, they start to be forgetful. Let's say in the time of dementia, forgetfulness. My father sometimes he is looking for his pouch of money. Where is my little? And he has a little blue pouch that is very brightly colored. It's beautiful. I gave it to him. He loves it. I've tried to buy him like a wallet. He does not like the wallet. And I believe part of it is because this little pouch is very colorful. So with the sight compromise, because his sight is also compromised, he can see it easily. While a wallet is one color, it's brown, black, earth colors. They are harder to find and to spot. So he likes this little pouch. When it's missing, I can't go and tell him, Papa, you don't need money. Actually, when he first came from Kenya, he would constantly say, I don't have a dime. I don't have a dime. I'm like, Papa, yes, you do, but I don't have a dime. And so I had to recognize that making sure his money is with him in his reach is very important to him. Now, I tried even giving him some dollars to put in his wallet because in US he's not gonna use uh, Kenya shillings, but dollars don't make sense to my father. It's just what is these green things he would ask and put them aside. He wants his Kenya shillings, and so I had to give him Kenya shillings. He has some thousands in there, some hundreds in there, some fifties, and he is happy. He has his money in his pouch. And so he counts that money, he makes sure it's there. Sometimes we'll go to the shopping center to do shopping, and he wants to help me pay. He'll take out 1,000 Kenya shillings bill and give me here. He wants to help me with the shopping. So I take it and I pay. Of course, I don't pay with the shillings. I hang on to it. I pay, we come home. He's happy. He helped me at the shopping center. Then I'll come back and find a way to put that money back in his pouch. It's there and he's happy. So these are simple ways of providing dignity to your elderly loved one. Don't just blow them off and say you don't need money because that reduces them into feeling like they are so insignificant in life that they can't make an impact. So help them by providing dignity. Um, Give them their money. Let them have some money with them. Even if you are buying all their food and clothes and everything, have some money in their hands that they can look at and see they have some money. They are not empty handed. Um, Talk with them about their decisions. And so you respect them, follow their leading. One of the ways is just follow their leading in their care. and never forget that they lived a full life. Always remind them that they matter. When you provide your parents with dignity, it actually builds their esteem, it increases joy in their heart, and also their physical well being. When they are not stressed out all the time, they can be more healthy because stress is such a killer. Stress causes people to be depressed, to have sleepless nights, which causes other complications. So the more that you can cause happiness in your parents, the more you are improving the quality of their life at many levels, including emotionally, spiritually, mentally, physically. You're just giving them more to live off of. So, some of the other ways that you can provide dignity for your parents is providing quality of care. Provide quality of care. So, it's very easy to think that our parents don't care anymore because they are old. They are old, so it doesn't matter. But it does matter. It's only that they don't have a choice. So, our parents, especially in Kenya, life in Kenya is very different. As parents, we live for our children. And what that means is when parents are parenting and the children are younger, the parents are in the business of pouring everything they have into their children. They sacrifice. They buy their clothes, they buy their children the best clothes. They want to take their children to the best schools possible. They do so much for their children. And then by the time their children are old and moving on, now it's about time for our parents to retire from their jobs. They're becoming less, physically strong. They can do less with their lives. And then we often see that the life of our parents start to deteriorate. They start to dress less better. Why? Because especially after retirement in Kenya, parents don't have much money anymore. So one of the things that I've thought of is my parents could have owned anything and had anything they wanted to have in life if it wasn't for us children. Your parents could have owned anything if it wasn't for you because they could have saved that money, they could have invested their money, but they poured it all on you. And then we grow up, we get our jobs, and granted, we become busy, we have children, and now we are doing the same thing our parents did. We are pouring onto our children. It's easy to forget that our loved ones also need us because they already poured what they had, all their strength on us. So they need us. And one of the multi-generational advantages of family, I grew up in a multi-generational family. My mother and my father were raising their children, but they were also caring for their parents in the home. So I was fortunate to be raised in an environment where this was demonstrated. My parents were caring for us, but they never forgot to take care of their folks. They cooked for them, they attended to them, they took care of them until they died. In today's culture, we move on. Some of us move to America. Some of us move to Nairobi and to Mombasa, and we lose touch of what is going on with our elderly parents in their home where they raised us. And so they get older, we don't see them for years, and life is getting worse for them, but they are not right in our eyes, so we are not seeing them, and they start to suffer. What we must not forget is they lived a good life and they raised us in a good way, which is why we are doing well. Now, when we go home and find our parents dressed badly, they are wearing torn clothes, their house doesn't look as good, we think, they are old, that's their life. But we can do better to provide dignity for them. We can do better by realizing it's not that they don't care anymore, it's because they don't have that much. And so we can improve the quality of their life as the Lord enables us. If it's their house, it's falling apart, help fix it a little bit for them. If they are wearing clothes that are not decent, buy them some clothes. Sometimes you might have to hide and take the ripped clothes and throw them away, or get rid of them and buy them some better clothes. That is providing dignity for our elderly parents. Let us not just assume, oh, they are old. And sometimes I've known people who avoid to go to their parents' home because it smells and it doesn't look good. And so they avoid going there because it's not pleasant. Instead of avoiding going to your parents' home to see them, go help make it. And it doesn't need a lot of money. Sometimes it's easy to say, oh, McKenna, you don't understand. I can't afford it. It doesn't take money. It takes the heart. Because it doesn't cost much to take a day to go and clean up your parents' home real good. Maybe get a friend to help you if you don't have money. There's ways that we can do things if we put our mind to it. It's not always about money. It's about the heart that we have for our loved one. So you help provide them with better quality of life. Help shop for them. Buy them some food. Um, Maybe buy them a sack of beans, a sack of rice, something to push them for a while so that they are eating healthy. So it's simple ways, and as you are able, but if you keep in mind that I want to provide dignity for my parents, you will do it, providing them with better quality of life. Um, Another way is just support their independence. So when you make decisions, support their independence. In the hospitals, I noticed this in Kenya. They want to talk about my mom without her being present. They want to tell the family, uh, there's nothing more we can do to treat your mom. We have done everything. Now we are done. There's nothing we can do medically. So please take care of mom at home. If she needs this, you can bring her in for pain control, whatever. But the disease is not going to get better. But they waited for my mom to be taken out of the room. So I was asking my family because that happened in summer of 2023 after we had come back to America. We were in Kenya for a month. We came back to America and I was still talking with the cardiologists and pushing them and saying, you need to be honest and tell us the truth because things are not going good. And finally, they decided to tell the truth, but they would not do it in front of my mom. And so I was asking my family, so when my mom is starting to feel sick, maybe infection, this, that, will that be the time you tell her we don't need to take her in? Or how are you going to handle that? It's important for the patient to hear what the doctors are saying because even as children, you don't want to bear the burden of worry that, oh, mom might think we don't want to take her to the hospital. Mom might think we are tired of her. She needs to hear it from the doctors. So guess what I did? Summer of 2023, board the plane and go back to Kenya. After the doctor, they waited for me to leave too. I mean, it was very unfair. We had to board the plane and go back to Kenya because I knew that I had to address certain things for my mom's sake. And I had to call a meeting and bring my mom back in and in front of my mom, tell the doctors, now tell us what you said. My mom needs to hear it from you. And there was like 5 doctors in that room because they said they've never seen anything like this. And I can't understand why it's wrong. But because my mom had it from the doctors, it was easier to work with her without bearing the burden of maybe she might think we are tired. Maybe she might think I'm tired of paying her bills. Maybe I didn't have to bear those burdens. So involve them in their decisions concerning their life. They are not children. They have lived a full life. Your parents know that one day they'll die. You know that one day you'll die, don't you? I know one day I'll die. So let's involve our loved ones in their decisions, in their choices. It could be the major decisions like where do I want to die if I have a choice? How do I want to die if I have a choice? Where do I want to be buried if I have a choice? Those are huge decisions, but it could be day-to-day decisions. I want to wear my purple dress. I want to eat uji. Make for me uji today. No, I don't want uji today. I just want tea and bread. Simple decisions. But when you cook, as much as possible, offer your loved ones. What do you want to eat? What can we cook today that you feel like eating? Provide privacy for them when they need privacy. Everybody needs privacy. Sometimes they just want to sit in their room. Provide privacy. And sometimes there might be the battle between safety and privacy. So, like for my dad, there's forgetfulness, there's compromise of the site. And so, making sure there's safety, there's a camera in his living area whereby if he walks out of his room, I can see him from my bedroom at night, I have a camera that I monitor because I want to make sure he is safe. The camera is in the living area. So if he wakes up to go to the bathroom across from his bedroom, I can hear it. I can see him crossing the hall and I can see him going back. But this helps me know when he is awake because sometimes he'll wake up at the middle of the night, make his bed, get dressed, and then sit on the bed. And I can see there's lights downstairs. Then I'm able to go down and say, Papa, it's 2 a.m. Everybody is sleeping. Maybe you want to go back and sleep. It's 2 a.m. and you'll go back to sleep. So you are providing privacy as well as safety. And those are things to think about in providing dignity. Is what is safe versus what is the privacy. During the day, if Papa wanna hang out in his bedroom, I don't care. He can sit on his bed all he wants. He can come up. He can do this. But when everybody is sleeping, but during the day we are all attentive, awake. We are aware of what's going on. But the last thing is you wanna sleep and not be aware of a parent who is vulnerable and then find something happened and you didn't know they needed your help. So those are all things that you can keep in mind in providing dignity for your loved ones, where you are. It is being aware that they have lived their life and showing that respect to them, that they matter. Talk about their life. Men enjoy talking about their productive days. What did you do for work? Wow, did you like your work? And men laughed, they pride in their work. So you talk about their work and their money and things like that. That makes men happy. And also parenting. What kind of a parent were you? What did you do when your children did this? Things that remind them that they have made an impact in life. That's maintaining their dignity. Think ahead. Think ahead. Because as they get older, they are slower. So one of the things I have learned is have time. Have time. Don't wait for last minute because if you wait for last minute to try to get your parent moving, you might be fighting a war. It's those times when I was trying to hurry my dad because we have an appointment to go to that he'll remind me I'm your father and you don't get to rush me. And yes, he can be stubborn and put his foot down and he is not moving. Especially if he senses my attitude is a little off, he's done. So I had to learn pretty quickly that make sure there is time so that we are not running into issues of we have to hurry up. Because on those days, things are not going very well and we are either running late and things like that. But in providing dignity, think ahead so that you create time so that it's a happy movement. You're gonna have to move at your loved one's pace because they can't move at your pace. So and showing that respect, showing that understanding, treat them with respect, no matter if you are providing everything, still help them to feel that they matter. That's how you provide dignity for them, maintain dignity, and it will help them live longer, happier. Plus, you can enjoy time together much better if you're focused on providing dignity, because it's providing dignity that will help them feel they matter. And so they'll not be fighting for significance because you're already giving it to them. Otherwise, I had a quick reading that I don't know, from Genesis chapter 9, verse 18. You're going to have to read, but we see Noah in his old age started getting drunk. He'd plant vine, he would drink, he would get drunk, and he would just sleep anyhow. And one of his sons goes in and finds him naked. He goes out and he tells his his brothers, Ham tells his brothers, my father is sleeping there naked. The other two, they take a cloth and they walk backward. They go and they cover the father and they don't look at his nakedness. In those days, looking at apparent nakedness was considered like an abomination type of a thing. It was very bad. In our, excuse me, in our Kenyan culture, we have kind of a similar mentality. You can't see your parents naked. Similar mentality. But was the problem that Ham saw his father naked, or was the problem that his attitude towards it? So the other two take a cloth, they walk backward, they cover their father. The Bible says when Noah woke up and knew what Ham had done to him, he cursed Canaan. Now, Canaan was Noah's grandchild. Canaan was Ham's son. I find it interesting that Noah cursed his grandson instead of his son. So again, you think of curses going down generations. There you go. He curses his grandson because his father disrespected him. And then he blesses Japheth and Shem, the other two brothers, the other two sons, he blesses them. And he says, Canaan, that's their nephew, will be your servant. Now, the attitude, how we provide dignity for our parents. I don't see that Ham just walks out and his attitude. I can see where, as children, we grow up and God blesses us. Number one, our parents pour and they sacrifice and they bless us and they raise us. And then we get blessed and we have good jobs and we have good homes and we are blessed because our parents sacrificed. And then maybe life becomes even better for us. I am born again. I am living for God. And maybe my parents, for example, are not living for God. Maybe my parents are getting drunk and they are doing this and that, which I despise. And so we treat our parents with despise because they are not living the life that we think they should be living. And that's what I see happening here. with him is despise for his father. Ah, the old man, he's drunk again. I can't stand that he keeps doing this. Da 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 da. And we do that with our parents. Ah, they are living like this. They should live like this. And we forget they raised us. We have to treat our parents with respect, no matter what bad choices they are making. We have to honor them. You cannot not honor your parents because they are not living the life you think they should be living. Oh, you're getting on the wrong side of God. I don't care how saved you are. If you're despising your parents because they are not saved, you're getting on the wrong side of God. If you're despising your parents because they are not doing things in a dignified way, you're getting on the wrong side of God. So Japheth, and Shem, they were wise. They go and they cover their father's shame and they get blessed. So it's not about the literal seeing nakedness, because he probably didn't know what he was walking into. He just probably opened the door and he had no idea what he was walking into. But he could have handled things differently. He could have gone and been the one to run and cover the father and not even tell the brothers. Or if he's going to tell them, it's out of concern. What can we do to help our parents? Because this and this is going on. Not out of spite. The problem is the attitude. So I want to encourage you, choose the attitude that you have towards your parents, no matter how they are living, no matter whether they are not living the life you think they should. Choose the attitude that you show your parents in their elderly age, and always aim at providing them with dignity. Otherwise, may God bless you. Thank you so much for joining me. Please share this. Let's continue caring for our elderly loved ones together. It's worth it. God bless.